What's up, you guys? It's Steve here, and this is your breaking news update. What you're seeing right now is live. This has not even been reported yet by news outlets or anything like this. It is actually not even finished yet, the recording of the votes of what's taking place. But you guys, just doing simple math, I can let you know right now the House of Representatives is about to pass this bill. And take a look at this. This is live. U.S. lawmakers debate suspending the debt ceiling to avoid a government shutdown. And yes, you guys, this is the motion to put in a stopgap so that way we can avoid a shutdown and hitting the debt ceiling. But what we're hearing, though, is that this is going to be moving on to the Senate, and it is not likely to pass. Take a look, you guys. Articles coming out earlier today as they were aware that this was going to be hitting the House. House Democrats to push a vote on debt ceiling bill that is doomed in the Senate. Here's another one that came out. House will vote on a debt ceiling suspension that is doomed in the Senate. This is your stimulus check update, stimulus package update, breaking news update, and debt ceiling crisis update. Now, you guys, I'm going to be sharing with you what they're saying we could be potentially looking at with the debt ceiling crisis, as it looks like we are potentially going to have this more of a reality. For the first time ever, the United States could be looking at a U.S. default. Also, a government shutdown likely could happen tomorrow if something does not happen. We have about 24 hours left, a little over that, to try to see what they can get done. So you guys, I'm going to be diving into these articles, sharing with you the latest as right now, live. Congress is trying to address these issues. Stimulus, infrastructure, a government shutdown, and also potentially for the first time ever, a U.S. default, the first one we could see ever in history. We have never had this happen before. Nobody knows the extent of what could happen. However, we have a prediction right here, and I'm going to be reading to you all the potential impacts of what could unfold. So with that being said, you guys, let's go ahead and dive right in. But before we do, if you could do me a quick favor, just takes a second. If you appreciate these updates, don't forget to take a second to smash the like button. Just lets the algorithm know that you think I'm doing a good job and they're going to continue to promote my channel and my videos. Also, leave your comments down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Share this out if you think it's going to help out other people. If this is your first time here, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, come join the viewing community, come join the Ram fam. I'll keep you up to date on all this stuff so that way you know what's going on even before it actually happens and is reported by other news outlets. You might catch it live in the middle of it here with Steve Ram. And if you got any specific questions for me, be sure to shoot them me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3. That's by far the best way to get a hold of me if you got any specific questions. And yes, I go through all those DMs myself. Might take me a while because I get a lot of them, but I will go through and I'll do my best to respond to your questions as best as I can, you guys. But with that being said, let's go ahead and dive into these articles, get you caught up as to what they're saying we could be potentially looking at, as even though this is passing right now in the House, they're saying it's likely not going to be moving forward in the Senate. All right, you guys, so first up, link in the description below to this ABC News article that says what the debt ceiling is and why you should care about it. Now, jumping down in the article, it gives a list of all the impacts of what they believe could happen if we hit this debt ceiling, if the United States defaults on its debt for the first time ever in history. Now, it says 15 million seniors could stop receiving Social Security payments or see delays. 30 million families could stop receiving President Joe Biden's expanded child tax credit payments or see delays. U.S. military service members could stop receiving paychecks. Veteran benefits could stop or be delayed. Postal workers and federal employees could stop receiving paychecks. The United States credit worthiness could be downgraded, spiking interest rates, which would raise mortgages, cars, and credit card payments. Doubt in the typically reliable U.S. currency could tank the markets, hurting 401ks and other investments. The S&P 500 lost 17% in the months surrounding the last debt ceiling standoff. FEMA funding for hurricane and wildfire victims could stop, and public health funding for pandemic mitigation efforts could be cut off, along with child nutrition programs and other food assistance stopping as well. Now, in addition to that, Moody's Analytics has estimated that a long impasse over the debt ceiling could cause the loss of nearly 6 million jobs, increase the unemployment rate to 9% from 5.2 right now, so almost doubling, and cause the stock market to lose about a third of its value, wiping out $15 trillion in household wealth. So needless to say, this is not an issue that we should be taking lightly. They're saying that these are just projections because nobody really knows the extent of what could unfold. We've never been down this road before, but they're saying it could be catastrophic. Now, right now, what's happening in the House is they're going to be passing this bill, then it's going to be moving on to the Senate, which we're hearing it will not pass, which means really there is only one way to get this done, and that is to include it in the $3.5 trillion stimulus bill, which will delay the arrival of that bill, we're hearing, about 3 to 6 weeks. And if that's tied to infrastructure, that means everything could get pushed back an additional 3 to 6 weeks. Now, we will see. Right now, Congress is working away to see what other alternatives there are. This is one of the ones right now, but we're hearing that this one is likely not going to pass in the Senate here shortly. But take a look, you guys. Link in the description below to this article that came out. The House will vote on a debt ceiling suspension that is doomed in the Senate. Now, the article says that the House will vote Wednesday on a bill to suspend the U.S. debt ceiling as the country barrels toward a first ever default with no clear solution in sight. Now, if the House passes the legislation, Republicans will sink it in the Senate. The GOP has opposed any effort to raise the borrowing limit, and it appears intent on making Democrats address it as a part of their sprawling investment in social programs and climate policy. And regardless of whether Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer likes it or not, it looks like that will be the only way that we can avoid this. Now, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen has told lawmakers that the U.S. will run out of ways to pay for its bills around October 18th. Now, nobody knows the time of which this is going to be unfolding, but the estimate is that the United States will run out of money on October 18th. Now, if Congress fails to suspend or raise the debt limit before the deadline, lawmakers risk a default that could cost millions of jobs, jeopardize government benefits, and crash the financial markets. Today, the House plans to move forward to honor its responsibility to protect the American economy and American families from catastrophe of a default by passing legislation to suspend the debt limit, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi wrote to Democrats. Now, just to clarify, we're actually facing a government shutdown and also hitting the debt ceiling, two totally separate things here. Take a look, you guys. The party aims to head off two separate crises this week. First comes the midnight Thursday deadline to pass a funding bill before the government shuts down. The Senate could vote on a short-term appropriations plan as soon as Wednesday. That would fund the government until early December, and that's happening right now. Now, it would then move to the House for approval where it is expected to pass. Now, that still leaves Congress grappling with the debt ceiling. Republicans have shot down two Democratic efforts to address the issue. GOP senators on Monday blocked a bill that would have funded the government into December because it also suspended borrowing ceilings until December of 2022. And you guys, that is when chaos erupted, was when we saw that unfold. And since then, Congress has been scrambling to pick up the pieces and see how they can recover from this situation. Republicans insist Democrats should raise the limit on their own, leading Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer to introduce a motion that would allow the Senate to hike the ceiling with a simple majority. It needed unanimous consent, and Minority Leader Mitch McConnell blocked it on Tuesday. Now, I shared with you the news as it came out. If you missed that video, be sure to check it out right after this one. You can see what unfolded in the Senate, the chaos that erupted over the stimulus, the infrastructure, a potential government shutdown, and a potential default on the United States debt, you guys. But it looks like right now, the only way forward is going to be for them to include this measure to stop hitting the debt ceiling in the stimulus bill, which is going to delay the entire process approximately 3 to 6 weeks. We're just waiting for confirmation from Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, who has said that he will not do it. But really at this point, there is no other way. Now, you guys, a lot of information is going to be coming out here very soon. I'll do my best to keep you up to date so you know what unfolds. And if we are going to be having a government shutdown, it is going to be happening tomorrow, Thursday, September 30th at midnight. And then the potential debt ceiling. If we default on our debt, nobody knows the actual time or day that it will happen, but we're hearing that it is likely going to be around sometime around October 18th. So you guys, I'll keep you up to date here on the channel. And as always, thank you so much for joining me. If you appreciate these updates, don't forget, smash that like button, leave your comments down below, share this out. If this is your first time here, hit the subscribe button, turn on that notification bell. You can come join the viewing community, come join the Ram fam. I'll keep you up to date on all this stuff so that way you know what's going on. Stimulus, Congress, the economy, unemployment, anything having to do with our money or our country, I'll keep you up to date. And if you got any specific questions for me, be sure to shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3. With that being said, you guys, hope this reaches you well. I will keep you up to date, and I'll catch you in the next video. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.